If you're a content creator and you've been putting content out on all the platforms, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, email blasting, and your blog, I bet you're wondering, how can you get people to engage more with your content and let you know that they listened and that they engaged? Well, stay tuned because I'm going to show you exactly how to make sure that happens. Hi, I'm Katie Collins with The Content Loop, and we help any content creator that uses video marketing. And what we do is we take the videos that you're doing on a week-to-week basis and we'll optimize and publish them for you. And we'll also cut them up into repurposed content so that you are across all the platforms without having to be in all the places at all the times yourself. And today I want to talk about calls to action, how to get your audience to engage with your content, and how can you know that they engage with the content and they're moving further into the funnel of possibly working with you. So let's talk about first, what are different calls to action that you could put out there? So the most obvious one is the fact that you're going to have a lead form, right? That is something that lives on your website, and it talks to your email marketing system. And that lead form is collecting their name and their email address so that they can get added to your email list. That is the best way to build an audience because you own that audience. If you have a bunch of followers on the different social media platforms, the problem is it's not your platform. It may be your profile, but if you make one mistake or somebody hijacks your profile, you could lose all of that work you've been doing so quickly. And that's why all the experts recommend that you have more than one way to reach your audience. Using social media, leveraging social media is a fantastic way to grow your audience, but ultimately you want to get them off social media and onto your email list. Now, how do we do that in a way that we're not constantly promoting the same single thing over and over? Well, I've got two suggestions for you there. One, I have multiple different lead magnets. And the reason for that is I'm constantly testing which ones are the audience reacting to and downloading and which ones aren't so hot. And it's so interesting because sometimes you think, oh my gosh, this one is so hot, everyone's gonna love it. And you get like 3 downloads and you think, oh, okay, I guess this wasn't that hot. Sometimes it's not even the content of your call to action, it's how you titled it. It's how you talked about it that wasn't as engaging. So there are things you can tweak to encourage more downloads. So the first thing you want to be looking at is your numbers. How many people landed on that lead form and how many people converted, meaning how many of them who read the lead form or the landing page actually gave their name and email. If you're not seeing 30 to 50% of people giving their name and email, 30 to 50% of conversions, then you're going to want to take a look at that form and figure out what isn't converting and what do I need to change. If you're on social media and you're posting all the time, download my free gift XYZ over and over and over, people get tired of seeing it. And what happens is they start ignoring you and they start ignoring your calls to action. So you need to vary what you're asking your audience to do. Keep them on their toes. And ideally, you're varying it based on where the content is and what is a natural next step for that audience to take. So what are some other calls to action? You've seen these, right? Drop an emoji in the comments. Sometimes people will say, I just wrote a new free report. Drop a heart emoji in the comments and I'll send it to you, right? Other people will say, send me a DM or go to my contact page on my website and get in touch with me. Or join my group, like my page, subscribe to my channel, follow me, right? All of these things are actions, they're commands, and you're commanding your audience to take the next step with you. And if they're engaging with your content and your content was something that they got value out of, usually they're gonna follow what you ask them to do. Now, it may take more than one time to ask them to do that, right? So part of this is creating that engaging content and getting them to come back. But when they're there and you tell them to do the next thing, and the next thing is so simple And even if they have a win waiting for them, put a heart in the comments and I'll send you the thing that you really want, right? Send me a DM and I'll engage with you and give you free advice. I mean, we wouldn't market it that way, but you get what I mean. So all of these different types of calls to action can all be appropriate depending on the kind of content you're putting out there and where you're putting it out there. All right, so let's talk about the different platforms of where you're putting content. Our clients are producing a single video and we're putting that complete video on YouTube, okay? We are optimizing the YouTube description of that video and we're using SEOs, keywords, all the things that keep it optimized. On YouTube, usually there are a lot of links in the description already. And so in your video, when you say, click the link below, you can be sure that that link is going to be in your optimized YouTube description for that particular video. Okay, so we don't really need another call to action, right? If you want to keep that video so that you can put it in other places, you might say, either click the link right below here or find the link on my bio. You can say 2 calls to action because what's going to happen if we're watching that as a shortened reel on IG, then when I hear click the link on the bio, I understand what that means because I'm an Instagram user. And I know that on Instagram, you can't put a link in the post itself. So I can't say click the link below, because that's not going to exist on IG. So anytime you're putting content on the platforms that don't allow a link, because most social media platforms, if not all of them, kind of ding you in the algorithm if you are encouraging your audience to leave their platform. They don't like that. They want everyone to play on the platform that they're on. So if I'm on Facebook and I post a link to my YouTube channel, Facebook is probably going to block that from being distributed far and wide, right? That's when you see metrics like 3 people saw this. Yes, thank you, Facebook. So it's because I didn't play by the Facebook rules. So although I find the rules to be very frustrating and annoying, you have to play by the rules or you're not going to get the results that you want. Ultimately, why are you putting out this content? Because you want to reach your people. If you don't play the rules with the different platforms you're on, you're not going to be able to do that. So on YouTube, it's easy to say, click the link below because the optimized description for the video is there for you. As we said, on Instagram, I'm going to say, go to my bio, right? Link in bio. So what does that mean? Now that works on Facebook and Instagram, but you, content creator, you need to remember, if I said click link in my bio, I need to make sure the link I'm telling them to click on is in the bio, right? Now, on Instagram, if you're on your desktop, you're only allowed to put like 2 links in your bio profile. I just discovered if you're on your mobile device, you are able to put more links. But there are tools that exist that are free. Of course, you can upgrade for better features, but the free is good enough. And a good example of that you may have seen other people have is called Linktree. Linktree serves as a single link on your Instagram bio. So they go to your bio and they see like link.tree, / and whatever your handle is, right? So mine says Coach Katie Collins. And when you click on that link, it takes you to a Linktree page. It's not on my website. It's not my, ClickFunnels or anything like that. Linktree owns this, if you will. And there are all these links that I can put on there. And you should check out mine if you want to see how it works. And you want to put little titles like download my free gift on, how to create high ticket offers that sell, or, learn more about, real estate hacks in 2024 by going to my blog. So instead of just labeling it my blog, my website, right? You want to engage them in some way and tell them what they're going to get by clicking on that link. So I try to order my links so whatever I'm talking about to my audience is going to be at the top of my link tree. I don't know if there's a limitation of links in your link tree, but you honestly shouldn't have so many that it would even be a problem, because some links just get old. And if you see that call to action didn't work very well, I would just get rid of it. We always want to be varying and updating what we're asking people to do to keep them on their toes and to keep the interest peaked, if you will. So that's what people mean when they say link in bio. And like I said, the most important thing for you is to make sure you're updating that resource for yourself. So whatever link you want them to click on is there. So here's how we do it for blogs. If I'm going to tell people that I want them to go listen to or watch my blog, I'm not going to probably want to put the blog of this specific episode in my link tree, because that becomes a task I have to do every single week. And I promise you, I will forget that. So what I do is put a link to my blog itself, right? CoachKatieCollins.com/blog. And when someone clicks on that link, my most recent blog is going to be at the top anyway. So they don't need to search for anything. So that is my way of knowing I don't have to update that link tree on a weekly basis, because I can promise you I will probably forget that. Okay, so we've talked about YouTube, we've talked about Instagram, we've talked about Linktree. You can also do what you do on Instagram on Facebook, right? It is, as you know, both owned by Meta. So there is a feature, no matter where you're publishing, that lets you publish exactly the same thing on both platforms at the same time. And that is a lovely feature. But you need to remember, if you're saying things like link in bio, that's not necessarily a thing that people were doing on Facebook. For a long time, you could post the link right in the post itself. And sometimes you still can. If you don't do that all the time, they don't ding you as much. And then for even longer, people would put the link that they wanted people to look at in the first comment. So that still works sometimes, as long as you remember to put the link in the comment. So here's the thing. If you're in the Meta Business Suite and you're posting, I don't think you can do that link in the first comment. If your team is doing that, your VA, if they're doing that, then you might forget to put that link, and they might forget to put that link because we're scheduling it. So you have to remember. So that no longer works as a great viable option. Now, some scheduling softwares let you actually post that first link, but not all platforms allow that. So you have to look at your own scheduling software. So now you got to think about, okay, if the link in bio works, then let me update my Facebook profile so that my link in bio has the link tree. My link tree is on my Facebook profile and it's on my IG profile. Now, you may be asking yourself, am I going to put it on my personal profile or my business profile? And the answer is yes and yes. Okay? Nothing drives me more crazy when somebody is promoting their business through their personal profile that they do sometimes. For example, you might share something that was published on your business page. You might share it to your personal profile. Now, people almost always are going to click to your personal profile first. So if you don't have a way for them to find your business on your personal profile, you're really missing out. So it makes sense that right there in your intro bio section, right under your name on your Facebook profile, you can have a few words of what you do and a link to your link tree, which can send them down the rabbit hole of all the things that they want to do. So as I wrap this up, I just want to remind you, there are different kinds of calls to action. They may differ per platform, and they may vary with the content that you're putting out there. So think through what makes the most sense for where they are, okay? So the last thing I want to chat about is the blog itself. Now, if they're on my blog, they're already on my website. That's great. We're hoping that we can collect their information, but if they're on my website, they're probably looking into wanting to have a conversation with me, right? This is a little bit more personal now if they found themselves all the way into my exact world. So I almost always want to say on your blog, the call to action should be, let's book a call, or give me a call, or send me a message. Giving them a way to directly connect with you from your blog is the fastest way to get someone on the phone with you. And that is ultimately what you probably want to do in order to convert these folks into leads and eventually clients. All right, that's what I have for you today for calls to action. Let me know in the comments, what are your favorite call to actions and which ones do you see others use that you either like or don't like, and tell us why. All right, everyone, see you next time.